James Kaufman, World News Report today. Sean Hannity demolishes radical Democrat Shri Thanedar. This is a must-watch, folks. This man voted not to deport illegal aliens that had committed sexual crimes against women here in the United States. Democratic Representative Shri Thanedar, Democrat Michigan, appeared on Fox News' Hannity to discuss political issues with host Sean Hannity. For those of you that don't know, this Democrat was voted in by the very low IQ state of Michigan. He was born in India, and he's a radical leftist and has a belief system that does not line up with anything any real Americans believe. If you know one Middle Eastern Indian, you know them all. One of the most jaw-dropping, no-holds-barred exchanges ever seen on cable news. Sean Hannity absolutely dismantled radical Democrat Representative Shri Thanedar during a live interview. The confrontation centered on illegal immigration, violent crime by illegals, and Thanedar's voting record, and it quickly became clear that Hannity came armed with facts, while Thanedar came armed with excuses.
Thanedar is with us. All right, just to be clear, the president's joint session speech when he honored the family of Laken Riley, murdered 24-year-old nursing student, murdered by an unvetted illegal immigrant, and honored little Jocelyn Nungary's family, brutally raped and murdered a 12-year-old girl. Did you stand? Did you give honor to that family that lost so much?
Look, Sean, thanks for having me.
I don't need the thanks. Did you stand or not? Did you stand to honor those families?
I did not stand because the president.
You sat on your ass.
I was just sick of the president.
So I want to be clear.
I did not.
You sat on your ass, and you wouldn't stand for families that lost children. A 12-year-old girl raped and murdered, and you couldn't stand for them because you were playing politics. Is that right? I want this audience to know.
Look, I would not stand for this president. I would not stand for this president. He was lying.
You weren't standing for
boasting.
them. You were standing for the families that lost little girls that were murdered by the illegal immigrants that you want to remain in the country. Is that true or false?
Look, this president was using a tragedy.
I'm not talking about it.
Riley's death.
What about those families? Have you ever picked up a phone? Because there are thousands of Americans that have been murdered and raped and victims of violent crime. Have you ever spoken to any? Have you ever called them to offer your condolences? Name one family. Name one family.
Look, every immigrant, everyone must follow American laws.
Have you ever picked up a phone and called a victim's family?
Look, I talk to my constituents
all the time. Not a hard question. Not hard.
Yeah, I do.
Have you ever picked up your phone and called them? Have you done that one time?
Look, I talk with my constituents all the time. My constituents are being terrorized by ICE.
Have you ever called an American family that has been a victim, murdered, raped, tortured by an illegal immigrant? Yes or no, Congressman? Did you ever call them?
I have met people. I am sure I have met people.
I'll take that as a no. All right. You actually said this, and, you know, I could talk to you all night about the dumb stuff you say. You voted against the bill mandating the deportation of illegal immigrants convicted of sex crimes. Can you explain that to me?
Well, look, anybody who breaks U.S. laws, an immigrant that breaks U.S. laws, should be deported. Anyone that commits
That's not what you said.
Should be deported.
Sir, you voted against a bill that mandated the deportation of illegals convicted of sex crimes. Do you regret that vote now?
No, I don't regret that vote. Look, no bill is perfect, and many times...
What if it was your wife, your sister, your daughter that was raped? That's a sex crime. You want that person to stay?
Look, there are multiple things in a bill. I don't agree with every one of them.
Sir, you got to answer the question. If your wife, your daughter, your girlfriend, mother was raped by an illegal immigrant, you voted against a bill that would deport these illegals convicted of sex crimes. You're perfectly fine if they stay in the country.
Sean, look, I serve in Congress. I don't think you ever served in Congress. That's what you voted
on, though, right?
Most of the bills. Look,
Why
most
did you
of these
vote
bills
for that?
are not perfect
Why
bills.
did you vote for that? Why would you allow sex crime convicts to stay in the country that entered the country illegally? Why would you vote for that?
It was not, the bill did not just include that issue. There were other things in the bill. And so I cannot pick and choose. I don't have a veto where I can strike out one portion of a bill.
You would have voted against it. Otherwise, what was the big provision that prevented you from kicking these people out of our country?
Look, I don't memorize. I vote on thousands of bills.
I don't memorize. You don't know anything.
But look, I do believe that such criminals must be deported. There is no doubt about it.
Well, you voted against it. So obviously you don't. I got another question for you. In the first case in Minneapolis, where this woman accelerated her car at the ICE agent, that ICE agent was injured. Did you know that? Do you know what the injuries were?
Look,
do you know what the injuries were?
That's the only source of that information is DHS. And DHS secretary lies. She lied to me on my face.
You're accused. So you're saying
hearing.
That the internal bleeding reports are lies. You don't believe them.
I have seen no evidence of that. It is only coming from DHS.
Well, let me ask you this. You're a lawmaker. Do you believe in the rule of law and that a person's innocent until they're proven guilty, sir?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But look,
then why did you call this ICE agent? Why did you call him a murderer? Because there was a 4,000-pound vehicle that was being driven right at him. Why did you call him a murderer?
Look, lots of people saw that video. America saw that video. 82%
why did you call
of Americans.
That? If you believe in due process, why did you say he's a murderer?
Well, see, her last words were, I have nothing against you, dude. She said it in a very civil manner. This person pulled out
and
his
then
gun
accelerated
and shot her 4 times.
Right at the officer. Clear as day. Can't miss it.
He was trying
you know what the problem is, Congressman?
He was trying to open the door.
I'm going to tell you something. It's people like you and your rush to judgment and your language and you're defending even his own wife called him a wife beater, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, your buddy. It's people like you that don't care about the American people, and then you attack the brave men and women. I was scrolling all of the victims of crime, and you never lifted a phone to call one victim, one family. You call ICE agents murderers, and they're out there. They're putting their lives on the line. They are arresting murderers, rapists, cartel members, drug members, known terrorists, and you have zero appreciation. And now the threat level against them is up a whopping 8,000%, and I blame people like you for that. You incite them. Your incendiary comments. I find it nauseating, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Well, look, ICE is murdering people, murdering American citizens. They murdered a U.S. citizen, a mom with 3 children. Okay. That's not acceptable.
Who sends someone from India that can hardly speak English to serve, to represent your state? What is wrong with Michigan? Maybe the voting machines there are fixed. Let's just hope so. If not, the people of Michigan need to rethink what being an American is about. And I don't think there's very many Americans living in Michigan, from what I can tell. It's like a bunch of illegal aliens and people that were born elsewhere. They all need to be deported. That's right. They're using up our welfare system, all of our safety nets, etc. And they're abusing the use of those systems. And the only way to stop these liars, these cheats, these thieves, is to get rid of them. God bless you guys. Let me know what you think about this wonderful Democratic leftist congressman from Michigan in the comments below. And always remember, anything's possible. Bizarro world. Please give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not.